Hi guys, it's Kristen. I am here for today's 12-week update. I wanted to show you outside my window right now because it's pretty, but it's the middle of March and I really wish that it wasn't here. But we are having like this ridiculous back and forth. It's spring one day and then the next it's not. Anyways, okay, time for this week's update. So first, I did get a little stabilizer for the camera that lets me hold it, which I like being able to hold it when I'm talking about different things. I don't want to be like in front of the tripod. But hopefully this keeps it from jiggling quite so much. We have another nicer stabilizer ordered, but it won't be here for a while because it's still in pre-production actually. It was a Kickstarter project. But this was a really inexpensive one, and I'm hoping that it works well enough to keep the camera from shaking quite so much while I'm talking. Anyways, like I said, that was outside my bedroom window. I'm filming this one a little bit late because, as you can probably hear, I'm on the tail end of a horrible cold. All I can guess is it's because I'm pregnant that it hit me so hard, though. I had a cold when I was in labor with my second, but I haven't really had a bad cold since then, so that's been like a long time ago. But this one was so bad that I couldn't breathe out of my nose at all and was like coming close to hitting panic attack mode a couple times just because I felt like I couldn't breathe, and that was really, really rough, and like everything I tried did not work. So, and because I didn't want to take anything, but if I had not been pregnant, it was bad enough that I probably would have gotten like Tylenol cold and flu or something, just because I was miserable. And I'm not one who usually goes for medications, but the vaporizer wasn't working, and saline solution wasn't working, just nothing was working, and I kind of just had to deal with it, and like, at first, it was okay because I was just blowing my nose a lot and sneezing a lot, and like it was really irritating to the skin. I'm going to talk some about that too. But when my nose actually started plugging up, it got really bad. Anyways, sorry, I'm adjusting here to try and get it more stable. But it was really crummy. Yesterday was better, and then today is better. Obviously, still not 100%. But anyways, and I've had a headache, and I've still got a headache today, just I think because there's still a lot of sinus congestion. But I'm hoping that will go, by tomorrow, and I'm definitely much better. I actually did a birth on Sunday, real stopped up, but I guess by that point it was good that I was stopped up and not having to blow my nose constantly, but I washed my hands and used hand sanitizer like 50 gazillion times at that birth, so now my hands are really chapped too. But anyways, I felt a little bit better when I got there, and like the mother-in-law was hacking and coughing, but still, you don't really want to be sick around somebody. But when there's a mom who needs midwives, you go. And then I actually did 2 births over the last week, and I'm not sure if I got the cold at one of the births. The kids were sick at the first birth, and then it was like shortly after that I got sick, but my kids had also been snuffly too. But like nobody in my house got it as bad as me. Scott, he kind of had a day where he was real sneezy, and then he's been congested in the morning, but the kids like were snuffly for like a day, and then they were done. And for me, it was miserable for days. Anyways, though, so I'm feeling better, and I did do a cold tea, as in a tea for colds and congestion, and I didn't feel like it made much difference. I was pretty desperate, so I tried it, even though it was an herbal tea, and I wasn't 100% certain about all the herbs for pregnancy, but I wasn't going to try it again because I didn't feel like it made all that much of a difference. So really, it was just kind of bearing with it. Being in the hot shower helped some. I put my head over like a bowl of boiling water. That helped temporarily. Everything would like help temporarily, but nothing really helped. Anyways, though, so I've slept a lot. That got in the way of my trying to get up on time. I feel like I'm never going to be able to get up on time again. But I don't want to complain the entire time. One interesting thing is I felt less sick. And I think it was partially because I couldn't breathe, so I couldn't smell things very well. But I have definitely still had some sickness, not throwing up, but just a lot of nausea. It's definitely not just associated with smells. Like, I have a thing, I hate this all the time, but especially when I'm pregnant, like dirty stickers. I think I may have mentioned it before, but that's definitely still setting me off. And actually, at the house on Sunday where we had the birth, they had lots of posters and stuff up for kind of like horror characters and like comic book characters, but the bad guys who are kind of horrific and stuff. And, it's just not the kind of stuff that I enjoy or that I like. And some of it I actually find kind of disturbing. So, like, seeing those posters was actually really getting to me, and like making me feel sick, which is really interesting. Just anything that like bothers me or gets like an emotional response is enough to trigger the nausea, which is interesting. So, anyways, just sharing that. In fact, I really haven't even been able to tell Scott about that like nausea trigger. Usually I tell him pretty much, everything going on in the birth, kind of just my debrief, and he likes listening to me carry on about it. But, it bothered me so much that I haven't even wanted to talk about it. But otherwise, other things that I've noticed is I definitely think that like the nail and hair stuff for pregnancy is starting to kick in. Like my nails are definitely, I feel like I always have pretty good nails, at least now in my life, but I feel like definitely like the pregnancy hormones are being very kind to them. And like this, my thumbnail is, let me try to move so there's better light. Okay. So my thumbnail, I don't know if you can tell because it's not really zooming in on it, but it's looking a little bit rough right now. I actually, in August, so this happened ages ago. It was either in late August or early September, but I was slicing and I was being really stupid with a vegetable slicer, and I ended up slicing like at the tip of my thumb right here with the vegetable slicer, and like basically took a huge cut deep into my thumb. Like it was so bad that I started getting woozy in the kitchen, like just sitting there holding it. Scott kind of helped me sit down and took care of it and wrapped it up. But the interesting thing about that is like, even though you really, like you can't see anymore at all where I cut the top of my thumb, but my nail had like a weird reaction. And I think it was more from the Band-Aid than from anything else, like that I had to keep a bandage on it for so long. Because like the cuticle down here got damaged. And then my nail actually had like an indentation in it that had to grow all the way out. And it was taking forever. And then I got pregnant and it feels like it was like halfway grown out and it just sped the rest of the way up. But it's still a little rough at the top because that last bit is growing out. But I feel like that nail growth is definitely sped up and that my hands are dry right now, but my nails look pretty nice. That's nice. And then also my hair, which doesn't look fabulous right now. But when I'm not pregnant, I have to shampoo relatively frequently. When I'm pregnant, I don't really have to shampoo very often. And I've been kind of waiting for that to kick in. And I feel like this week it's gotten to where I can go a little bit longer between shampoos. And I'm hoping to go even longer. Sorry, I'm trying to remember to look at the camera. So I'm looking at y'all rather than just looking at myself. Anyways, so I guess those would be pregnancy signs that I'm seeing kick in, other than definitely still having some of the nausea, like gagging here and there, but not getting sick. Last night, my tummy really was like not good, so I had to wear the relief band to go to bed. And I'm thinking this week you can probably see what I was trying to show you last week. If you can see like the little spots on my arm, that's about where the relief band sits, and that's the skin gets pretty irritated. Sometimes it itches. It doesn't itch right now, and so I try not to wear the relief band too often, but I will wear it when I need to. So let's see, other things that I wanted to talk about this week were, first I wanted to show you all this, because I've actually used this like around, I said the skin around my nose and stuff has gotten real irritated just from blowing my nose so often. And This is from Bloom Naturals, and it's actually their eye and lip cream. But I got it with the Ultimate Healthy Living Bundle last year because it's what they recommend for stretch marks and like for a belly cream, actually. And I was, well, one of the reasons I got it is because I run a birth and baby website. So I try and get things that I know my listeners are going to be interested in and my readers are going to be interested in. But also, with the hope that we might have another baby, which obviously was, a little bit advanced. But I decided to try it for this area of my skin, and it worked really well. So I just want to share that because, it was pretty red and raw. There's still, especially on this side, there's still some skin that's dry and flaky, but it's much better. And so I've been really pleased with this. So when my belly starts getting really stretchy, which it's not yet, I will probably try this too. I've never had a huge problem with stretch marks, but it's nice, especially when you have an itchy belly or something, to have something to put on it. So that's one thing I was going to try. And then the next thing is so baby is 12 weeks this week, which is really exciting. And I actually have a little model that I keep with my midwifery stuff of what a 12-week baby looks like. So I was going to show that to y'all. So this is actually like the size and anatomically correct for what a 12-week baby looks like. So I was showing it to my kids this morning when I got it out. So that's actually the size of our baby this week. So I'm going to try and show you in my hand. So in the palm of the hand, that's the size of a baby at about 12 weeks. And again, this is also developmentally correct. So the baby's very proportional at this point. The upper body is stronger than the lower body, so the arms are really going, but the legs are starting to go too. And the head is, as you can see, the head is a significant portion of the body, but obviously, the baby has all their features and full development and everything at this point, which I think is really, really cool. So, it's just pretty cool to think about. And even when you see, we won't have a 12-week ultrasound, but even when you see the 12-week ultrasounds, it's pretty incredible to see the babies on the ultrasound because you can really see them moving and everything. It's just really neat. And I I just like my little model babies, but this is my 12-week baby. So, yeah, it's really cool, I think. And I think it's neat to be able to visualize the baby in the palm, fits in the palm of the hand, but is so formed already. It's just incredible. And it's especially incredible to think about the fact that really, this is at 12 weeks pregnancy, but it's 10 weeks in the baby development because you're pregnant 2 weeks before you're pregnant in the obstetrical lingo. So really this baby, is just formed across 10 weeks. It's gone from a fertilized egg that's the size of a period, as in a dot on a page, to, a fully formed miniature human being. And then to think about even at 16 weeks, so 4 weeks from now, how formed the baby will be. And then obviously at 40 weeks, you get a newborn. It's incredible. It's just incredible to think about. And I think it's also good to look at because we do feel so tired during the first trimester, and you're like, why? Because nobody can tell I'm pregnant and this kind of thing. But really, there's a lot going on. So, because you formed an entire baby already. So, and all the baby's vital systems and things are formed. The vocal cords are forming around this time. So really, all that there is the baby just gets bigger from this point. There's still brain development. There's a lot of bone development and things that go on. The baby puts up fat pads and stuff like that. But all the major organ systems are already formed, which I think is just fascinating. Okay, I know that we're getting a little bit long here, so let me think. Okay, so the other thing, I have something else to show you too. So this was my birthday present from Scott. My birthday was a couple weeks ago, but we had to wait for this to come back in stock. And I'll talk to y'all about this as I get into it. But it just came yesterday, so I really haven't had a lot of time to spend with it. But he got me the Trim Healthy Mama Work-Ins set, and I'm really excited about it. I like the Trim Healthy Mama stuff. I'll still follow the Brewer diet for pregnancy, but I have looked over their pregnancy guidelines. I like the Brewer diet. It's given me 7 healthy babies, so I'm going to stick with that. But I'm really excited about this because they have a pregnancy-specific adaptations and things for the work-ins, and everything that they do is like in the living room, at home, in 20 minutes or less kind of stuff. So it really fits like a mom's lifestyle. And I like that. I really like that. Anyways, it comes with a bunch of stuff like a bunch of stuff to help you. And I'll show you just the inside. There's one thing that's not in here because I had the book out to read. It's got like a little book. But I'll kind of show you what else it comes with here. If I can get the camera to show you. Hopefully that's showing you pretty well. And then it's got, I love this little warning here. So it says, warning, Trim Healthy Mama work-ins may cause an increased risk of falling in love with your fit, feminine, wonderful, but imperfect body. And then they basically have like different, sorry, it's hard to figure out the camera, but they have different guides to what level to use in Gentle Fit with the pregnancy modifications is what you use for pregnancy. So I'll probably share some of my experiences with this as I do this and as I work on it. But I'm really excited about that. So that was the other thing that I had to share with you guys. Otherwise, going on this week, I'll probably have a couple more births coming up, and then I have a little bit of a break, which is good because I'm feeling tired. But and then I am actually supposed to have my first prenatal appointment tomorrow if no births come up, and I'm really praying that they don't. We're going to do a postpartum visit for this mom who had her baby on Sunday, and then we'll go back to the office and do my prenatal appointment, which I'm really looking forward to, so I'll be able to tell y'all about how that went next week. Oh, I also had a dream last night that was super vivid, and in the dream I found out what the baby was, so I don't know, like, if that dream was legit or not, but it was incredibly vivid, and it was really interesting. It was, we're not going to have an ultrasound, but I dreamed for whatever reason that it was an ultrasound, and like on the ultrasound, it was very clear when we did like what they call the potty shot of the baby, what the baby was, and it was just really interesting. I often pray to have a dream of like what the baby is, or just pray, to have an intuition. I don't feel like I ever have intuition about what my babies are, but I hadn't in a while, and so this dream just came out of nowhere. I'm not going to say what it was in the dream because I guess I just still continuously doubt my intuition. We are probably going to do like the old wives' tales things. Cassidy, my oldest, wants to help me with that. And we might do Intelligender or something. I haven't decided about that. But, I mean, unless we need an ultrasound for medical reasons, which is unlikely, we won't have an ultrasound. So we won't know. But this dream was pretty vivid. Now, sometimes I have vivid dreams, and I'll have like one for a girl and one for a boy, and one for a girl and one for a boy, and it's like, okay, well, that doesn't help me at all. So we'll see if I have any more dreams. But otherwise, and another thing is I've definitely been having super vivid dreams. At the beginning of my pregnancy, I had like vivid dreams that bothered me, like had people from my past that I would prefer not to dream about and stuff. And I prayed, and I actually asked for prayer from one of my ladies groups that would stop, and fortunately God has been merciful, and so I've had vivid dreams, but they've been interesting. Like, I've had several dreams about us moving to a new house, and that's weird because that's definitely not something that I foresee happening. But it's been like really weird vivid dreams along those lines, none that have been disturbing, so that was nice. Anyways, we're at almost 20 minutes here, so you're probably tired of hearing me talk, but hopefully this video has been a little bit more stable. Hopefully you enjoyed the things that I showed you, and I will talk to you next week with hopefully an update about my first appointment. Otherwise, have a blessed week, and I'll talk to you next week.